off. We got the NFL draft this week.
Yes, we do have the NFL draft, and we've had a lot of conversation on these airwaves across ESPN Wisconsin. And we'll start with Goody.
Oh, the Gootmeister.
The fearless leader.
The fearless leader.
He is fearless. Very fearless.
yeah.
Not fearful of losing a job. That much.
How would you say your relationship with Goody is coming into the draft?
Right now it's a little rocky. I would say simply because, free agency, I thought he did a decent job. Didn't do as much I would have liked him to do. I really didn't contact Devontae Adams even when they didn't sign Devontae. So right now, when you're in a relationship and you look at him, but you don't want to talk to him. Just keep walking past each other because y'all got something to talk about. Me and Goody got something to talk about.
Brad, your relationship with Brian Gutekunst right now?
Yeah, to keep the relationship analogy going, remember when you used to put it on Facebook and there was a designation of it's complicated?
Ooh.
It's complicated with Brian Gutekunst. You got some good memories. You appreciate him for, sort of the stability, but there's a lot to be desired there, right? I mean, you're not eager to put in a relationship, right? It's very complicated.
That's crazy. People legitimately put it's complicated on Facebook.
That is a wild
be
thing.
Nosy about. I was the first. Click, go look at the photo, see what's happening. I'm nosy.
Yeah, hey, it's complicated. Why do you're just inviting drama into
why
your
do you
life?
broadcast that?
I would say that Goody and my relationship.
Ooh, he probably can't stand you.
No, he definitely can't stand me. But I feel like you guys hold him to a much higher standard than I do.
No.
Me?
Yeah, you, Ben Brust.
I am not.
Championship or bust.
No,
Brust.
Ben doesn't have much expectations. He doesn't have a standard for him whatsoever. Ben's quit on him, right? When you quit on somebody, you have low expectations.
I would say
that's what it is.
we're going through the motions.
Yeah, that's not good. That's a divorce waiting to happen.
Have you reached resentment yet, or just lack of
There's
joy?
just a disconnection. There's no emotional or physical or any. We're
no
just
spark.
We're just putting the kids in the car, taking them to school, dropping them off, eating the dinner, going our separate ways, sleeping in different beds.
Wow, that's very specific.
Oh wow, that is.
Well, you guys asked me in terms of my relationship with Goody, so I got specific for you.
Quite a picture.
That's
a sad picture.
Yeah, that is. That's.
I mean, that's 50% of America I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, after 15, 20 years of marriage, it definitely is.
Yeah, so but it probably hit home with a lot of listeners. Damn, I'm doing that right now.
But Ben, is there anything that can re-spark that love?
Of course, effort and intention and thoughtfulness and just proving that you want to make this work together. And part of that's got to come from me too. I have to open up the door. And look, in part of my relationship with Goody right now, the door's open, right? This is a big time in our marriage. This is building for the Green Bay Packers while in Green Bay where the draft is. All eyes are on Green Bay. And what is Goody going to do with that? How is he going to prioritize my thoughts and feelings? But here's the thing. Everyone listening has different thoughts and feelings about their relationship with Brian Gutekunst. So with that, wherever you're at with Brian Gutekunst, I'd love to hear from him today, which he spoke to the media. Here is Brian Gutekunst when talking about first-round draft picks.
Do you need your first-round pick to contribute right away?
No, I think you'd love to, but I think a lot of you guys have been around here. It's great when they do, but that's not always the case. This is the transition to the National Football League is tough. It's not always easy. A lot of times it's really determined by opportunity. You know what I mean? If you take a guy in a particular area, that he's just going to have a lot more opportunity than somebody else, and we try to stay away from that drafting for need. We try to just, take the best player available if that's possible. But most of the time, a guy's impact in his rookie year comes down to the opportunities that he had more than anything.
All right, Chris, I'd love for you to play that again and then just stop it at the first word of his answer. Because it's just fascinating.
Do you need your first-round pick to contribute right away?
No.
There it is. All right, that's all I took from it, because as I started listening to the rest of it, I heard blah, 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 blah. Opportunity. Guess what? If you draft a first-round pick and they're good enough, there's an opportunity for them. And there's always an opportunity for great talent in the first round, no matter what position. Even if in this scenario in which you guys hate the most, would you agree that if you drafted another offensive lineman in the first round, they should be good enough talent-wise, forget opportunity, that if they beat somebody out, they can play right away. And the way that he just dismisses that of like, and I'm talking about the one position where it feels like it's the most deep right now. Everywhere else on the roster, other than Jordan Love, there's competition. You use more than Josh Jacobs. If you like, again, my point of all of this is the way he said no right away and then just spewed out a bunch of nonsense about, it depends on the opportunity. This man's talking like they have a Super Bowl caliber roster and they're too deep at every position, and no matter who they take, should have no expectations for.
It's unbelievable. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting this answer. And guys, what was the question that was asked of him? Do you expect the first round draft pick to not be a superstar?
Contribute.
Not be a bona fide
What was that,
star.
Brian?
Yeah. Brian,
No.
do you need him to contribute right away?
No.
Not even contribute. That is the bare minimum scene.
He almost looked down at the question.
Yeah.
He almost
offended.
He was offended
you asked
that
me
the idea that one of your first round picks could be a player that helps the roster the next year.
And as he says, it's great when they do. I mean, Goody, this team, this Green Bay Packer team will never win a Super Bowl if this is the mindset you're taking. If your first round draft picks aren't expected to not only contribute, but significantly make the team better. Significant might be a strong word, but start, contribute, fill holes, make the team better. That is the bare minimum for a first round draft pick. If your first round draft picks don't consistently do that, this team will never be able to win a Super Bowl. That's how important it is.
See, this is a cop-out. This is an annoying answer. This is a complete cop-out from somebody who knows his drafting record in the first round is lackluster, is subpar. This is the answer that you give when you have failed. If you're talking about a guy who has found guys in the first round that were impactful, he doesn't say no. He'll say, the culture we have built up here, the tradition that we have here in Green Bay is when we draft a guy in the first round, we look for him to contribute. This isn't college football. This isn't high school basketball. This is the NFL. Obviously, there's a transition from during your rookie year to transition to the NFL. But the fact that you draft them in the first round, they're first round picks for two reasons: because of their potential, but then on top of that, of the fact that you believe they are most NFL ready to come in and make a positive impact.
Not in his mind.
But no, in his mind, he thinks he's playing JV football. This is the NFL. You need to be trying to draft guys that you truly believe can contribute to this roster on day one. And this exposes Goody, and based off his last couple picks, where you're talking about Jordan Morgan, where, listen, we don't know what he's going to be yet, but did not contribute year one. Lucas Van Ness did not contribute year one. Or two. Quay Walker, we're still trying to figure out what he's going to be. Devontae Wyatt, we don't know what he's going to end up being. Eric Stokes is not on the football team, and then you have Jordan Love in the last 5 years that we've drafted. Not good enough. You take all you have is Jordan Love and a whole bunch of guys where there's a whole bunch of what ifs, right? Those are 5 guys that should be contributing to this roster. These are 5 guys that should be helping Jordan Love get to a Super Bowl. But instead, Eric Stokes gone. Devontae Wyatt may be gone. Quay Walker,
Now they
still
said
hoping.
they want to bring him back.
Okay. No, well,
for 26.
Okay, cool. Okay, all right, cool. He's going to bring them back. Fantastic. But we're still waiting for these guys to actually contribute significantly on the roster. That is a problem, and this is why it's a problem, because you got the guy in charge who's doing the drafting, not looking for guys who can contribute now, but looking for guys who contribute down the road, and they're not doing that.
Ron and the Key must be a Goot apologist, because he says on the Carbless Talking text, need to remember that the Packers are almost always drafting at the end of the first round, which is far closer to second-round picks than the
Lucas
front.
Van Ness wasn't in.
That's exactly
Lucas
where my
Van Ness
head
wasn't
went.
in.
Yeah, so
Rashawn Gary wasn't in. Rashawn, I'll give him that. Rashawn is good. He's good. He's a good player.
But how about the fact that he had 2 first-round picks that you can question the productivity of first-round picks in Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt heading into their 4th year, and basically saying, I want them to be a part of the team, and obviously this year in 26, but he's not like jumping to pick the 5th-year option up. He probably wants to negotiate a way to do what he always does right now and say, hey, we'll sign you on a 1-year prove-it deal or a front-loaded deal with no real guarantees. But, they don't have to do that necessarily.
And your first-round draft picks should be the guys that you're bending over backward to give a mega second contract to. I mean, it's just hard to take anything that Goody says seriously. Because remember, this is the same guy when talking about wide receivers. He said guys are now more ready than they ever have been coming into wide receivers and to make production on the field. So which one is it, Goody? Are guys ready or are they not ready when you pick them? I can't believe the low standard and expectations you'd have for a first-round draft pick. Even if you're a 32nd pick overall, you are in the first round, you're in the top 32 of guys coming in, you have to be able to contribute.
You're setting the bar entirely too low. At that point, Goody, listen, hey, if you don't think first-round picks, you don't expect them to contribute right away, that's fine, cool. If that's your philosophy, then trade the dang pick. What's the point of making the pick? Go and use that first-round pick to get somebody who can actually contribute and bring this organization closer
He ain't
to a
listening
Super Bowl.
to you. He believes in his strategy. He's not going to listen to you. If anything, he's going to trade back and get more picks and take more bites of the apple.
Sure. Trade at this point, Goody, go ahead and trade back because your second-round picks and third-round picks of late have made more contributions to this roster than your first round picks. So you know what, Goody, go ahead, trade out the first round and cook after that. But what also comes with the first round pick is expectation. And so as a fan, when you draft somebody in the first round, you expect them at some point to contribute in year one. And look at the difference that a player can make in year one. Look at the difference that Jaden Reed made. He was so good year one that we were expecting him to be a number one wide receiver in year two. Look at the difference Edgerrin Cooper made year one when he came along and all of a sudden popped. We expect him to be a huge contributor in year two. We're talking about Tucker Kraft in year three potentially being the number one receiver, not wide receiver, just number one pass catcher on the Green Bay Packers roster. Those are guys that contributed year one, took the step year two, and now are going to pop in year three. That's what we should expect, but we're not getting that production out of the first round, and that's because of this clown, the way he's picking in the first round. He's not looking for guys that can help right away.
Well, again, do you agree with Goody's philosophy? We'll hear it from him himself.
Do you need your first-round pick to contribute right away?
No.
I mean, he didn't even hesitate.
It's idiotic.
That is a deep conviction. No, you don't have to.
Can you imagine starting a radio show and say, hey, do you expect for Kyle Bruster, Nortman, any of them to contribute right away? Nah, you know what? We're just going to let them sit there quietly and figure things out. No, you got to hold people to a high standard. Get your behind better. That is the problem that I see with Goody. Goody, please change up your philosophy. You have a roster that is almost there. We're getting closer. But I'm not trying to get somebody year one this year who's not going to contribute until 2027. How does that make Jordan Love closer to winning a Super Bowl? How does that make Jordan Love closer to being an MVP caliber quarterback? How does that make this defense a top number one type defense by drafting somebody for 2 years from now? 2025 is upon us. Find guys in the draft that can help in 2025, not 2027.
He really does believe in his roster. And again, I'm just based off the way that Goody is answering these questions. I feel as if he believes that he has his philosophy and he's not going to change his philosophy because
it's crazy though.
He's getting to the playoffs every year.
No. But you're not. But no.
Hey.
Ben,
I'm just saying what.
Absolutely not.
I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm literally saying what I feel based off how he's reacting to these questions as if he's got it all figured out.
Goody probably sleeps in a separate room.
Guys, we have so much more.
He's too stubborn.
I told you that. That's why he's in the other room right now in my relationship with him. We're sleeping in separate beds.
What's crazy is he told his players after the season, you need to have a more sense of urgency because your career is short.
Guys.
But yet your first-round draft pick can't even contribute year one?
Hey, I know I said that, but come here, my little puppy dog first-round draft pick. Listen, you can sit on the bench this year. It's okay. Hey, Lucas, I know you sucked, but that's okay, Lucas. You have year 3. You're fine.
Guys, I have so much more to get to. I can't let you use it all up right now. We haven't even heard him talk about the wide receiver room.
I hope he said the wide receiver room is lackluster right now.
And we need help.
Has room for improvement.
Well, you're going to find out on the other side because Goody spoke on the wide receivers and the prospect of going in the first round to get somebody to bolster up that spot on the team. Kyle Bruston Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. I just want to know your confidence level with Goody heading into this Thursday's NFL Draft. 800-990-3776. Let us know in the Cardinals Talking text line. We'll hear more from Goody because he's electric. Next.
Do you need your first-round pick to contribute right away?
No.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman.
800-990-3776. Say that again. What a radio pro.
He's so...
Say that again. Nobody said a word.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at 3rd Street Market Hall, Milwaukee, Route Stop Kenosha, Bullwinkle's Brookfield, Curly's Waterfront Pewaukee, and the new Fashion Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit. Pay no interest until 2030, plus $500 off your home improvement project. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SAND25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SAND25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SAND25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Biz Expo is May 13th at Brookfield Conference Center. Learn from the experts at the strategy seminars and keynote presentation on resilient leadership. Connect with business leaders and customers at Biz Expo May 13th. Register at biztimes.com/bizexpo.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
I'll tell you what, I appreciate Brian Gutekunst.
How dare you?
I appreciate that he sticks to what he believes.
It's terrible. That's a terrible way to live life.
For right or for wrong, I appreciate someone who thinks that they have it all figured out and they're just going to keep ramming it at you.
Those are legitimately the worst human beings out there. They can legitimately be wrong and sit there and argue with you for 10 to 15 to 20 minutes about being wrong.
No. 10 to 15 minutes, he didn't even give a reporter a chance. Chris, I mean, he asked him about a first-round draft pick. Can they have impact to the team?
No.
I mean, with the analogy, it's like we are one side of the relationship, and we want to get married. We want to win that Super Bowl. We want the diamond ring. And Cody's on the other side of the relationship, just like, I'm pretty content with where we're at. I don't want to move any further. I've got no plans in the future to ever marry you. That's what it feels like.
That's just indefensible. Like even answer that out loud. Simply, the answer is yes. The answer is always yes. Stop setting the bar so freaking low for these Packers players, man. That's the problem. That's the mentality. That's why we're sitting here still waiting for guys to develop because the bar is set so low. You are a first-round pick. Yeah, well, can they come in and can they be bust? Yes, there are busts every single year. There are going to be guys that hear their name called on Thursday who will be bust in the NFL. But you should not say, no, I don't expect them to contribute right away. What are you doing? No, I expect them to contribute right away, and if they don't, then we need to make sure we get them up to speed so they can the next year to make a contribution.
All right, let's hear from the source again because I love it. I love it. And we don't have to listen to the whole thing. We just got to listen to the start and then a little bit of his babbling about opportunity. But ultimately, this is what Goody had to say when asked about if his first-round picks need to contribute.
No. I mean, I think you'd love to, but I mean, I think a lot of you guys have been around here.
That's enough. That's enough. You guys have been around here. That's enough. You guys have been around here. You guys have seen what we do here in Green Bay.
You've seen my first round.
Basically, again, this is what he's saying. And so as somebody here who wants to make sure that we're all not, because this is an example whereas if I hear this, Kyle hears this, Brad hears this, we all have a similar reaction like, interesting. You're not even going to open up the door to say, yes, like, I think it's something this year, like, we really want to prioritize maybe more production and a need based off, some holes we need to fill.
We're close.
That's not what he said. Alex Strofe hanging out at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Come on, Strophe. What do you think about that clip? There's no groupthink here. That's a little bit interesting. And he's not connected. I hear a little mini echo in my headphones, so I know he might be hearing me.
Yeah, he can definitely hear you.
Oh.
I just think about what Goody is conveying to the players on the team, right? And the guys that are walking in the door. I mean, this is the NFL. If I'm going to have a franchise, I would rather have a franchise fail by at least taking swings and being like, you know what? We might have missed on him. Ben, you just said, or Kyle, you just said, like, yes, there are busts. Every team is going to have draft picks that don't work out. But I would rather have those draft picks worked out where it's like, we saw it, we went for the need, we thought he was going to contribute right away, and it just didn't work out. But if there's already a low expectation of not contributing and not even in positions that can help right away, I'm just trying to figure out how a team can win a Super Bowl like that. Because on a Super Bowl winning team, you're going to have a handful of superstars that are making a lot of money. You need to fill the gap with cheap, young, drafted players. And head of those drafted players is your first-round draft pick. You cannot win a Super Bowl if your first-round draft picks are not hitting. You just can't do it.
Loving Football on YouTube. Hey, Goody, are you willing to rethink how you approach things? No. And I believe that would be his exact answer.
No, it's no good.
Diana from Maguanago, 800-990-3776 on a Monday. Or on the Carbless Talking text line, Dirty D.
Dirty
What's up, Dirty D?
Hey, first of all, did you hang up on me yesterday, or were you just finished with the phone call?
No.
Yesterday, I believe we were finished with the phone call, weren't we? Weren't we done?
Okay, I thought you hung up on
girl,
me.
I never hang up on you. My mama taught me better than that.
Okay. I need your guys' thought. Do you think the Packers are ever going to see another Super Bowl as long as they have Gutekunst?
No.
Ooh, that's a good thought.
Will the Packers win another Super Bowl as long as Goody's the GM? Put it on the poll, Chris.
No, they never will.
It's actually tough.
That's a good question, Dirty D.
And I don't want to be extreme.
No.
I don't know.
They ain't going to.
Okay.
Thank you, Diana. I think she thinks. I think she. I did not. She was up on the phone line.
I thought it was like Goody.
Nope. I was like, all right. So Dirty D thinks no.
Yeah, I don't want to be extreme, right? But as a Packers fan, I should be a little concerned when the general manager is talking about a player in the first round pick that. Those are the guys that can be the people that change the roster, right? They can be game wreckers, they can be changers, they can be the eventual foundations and building blocks for the future. So when you hear a guy like Goody saying no, he doesn't expect him to contribute, that's one thing. But then when the second part of that is that, yeah, we'd love for that, but down the road they're supposed to contribute. But when I look at the draft picks who were supposed to contribute and like a Eric Stokes no longer being on a roster, that's the concerning part is even if your philosophy, Goody, was, hey, we want these guys to really pop year 2 and year 3, we just haven't seen that yet. So you saying no now, something's wrong with the way that you draft and the way you evaluate and the way you go about the first round, and you got to change something up because right now this is not a championship formula. And if he keeps down this route, then no, the Packers aren't going to be able to win a Super Bowl because you have to find difference makers. And if you're not going to consistently sign difference makers, then you must draft them. And unfortunately, the Packers are not drafting them in the round that you find the most of them in the first.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to change the question, can the Packers win a Super Bowl if Goody never hits on first-round draft picks? I would say no. So something needs to change about either evaluation or what he expects out of his first-round draft picks. If he can do that, we know he can backfill a roster with, B-level guys in, round 2, 3, 4, and 5. I like that, but you gotta hit in your first-round draft picks. You need your roster sprinkled with some all-pros. If you can't do that, I just don't see how this team gets to or wins the Super Bowl.
Well, there it is on the poll on Twitter at KBN ESPN and open for you to react on the Carbless Talk and Text line 800-990-3776. Will the Packers win a Super Bowl with Brian Gutekunst as the general manager? Just got up there. We'll give it a little refresh here, see if we got something new. And no leads the way right away. Within seconds.
See, I'm telling you, it's concerning.
I think
I'm a believer in Gook. I just want people to understand.
No. You don't get to be a Goop. You don't get to be a Goop believer and then just bash him all show long.
What does that mean? You believe in him?
You're that's you trying to protect your Packer backerness.
No, I'm not trying to protect anything. You guys know before. I'm not extremely critical of Goody. I can be, but I go back and forth with Goody. Sometimes I'm happy with him. Sometimes I'm not. That last statement, I'm just disappointed in. I'm very disappointed in the no. And so for me and a lot of Packers fans, we're going to have a little bit of doubt of whether or not he can get us over the hump because getting us over the hump doesn't seem like a priority to him. Winning a Super Bowl doesn't seem like a priority to him. The priority to him is having as many shots at trying to get there. But the thing you have to understand is you can have 10 shots, but if you are missing that one player, those two players, you're going to continue to have heartbreak as the Packers have had for the last 15 years because they have been refusing to go and get a real difference maker. I know we signed Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith. They were good additions, but they were not incredible additions. Those weren't guys that were all pro stud stars in the conversation for defensive MVPs, and we talked about it. In order to win Super Bowls, you need true difference makers on defense, right? What the Kansas City Chiefs have, they have Chris Jones, who is a legit difference maker on the defense. When the Green Bay Packers won a Super Bowl, they had 2 of them. We know what you need, but Goody is not going to get what you need in order to do it. Good job with Xavier McKinney, but now you got to find somebody else in order to push this team over the top to get back to bringing a Lombardi home to Wisconsin.
So you guys have a Bucks series price at plus 165 against the Pacers at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. You're not rushing to put any on the Packers right now?
Oh, on what, the position?
No, on the Super Bowl.
No. No.
No. Wait, Chris, play it.
No.
That from Brian Gutekunst. And at Potawatomi Sportsbook, they have dozens of self-service betting kiosks, seating for over 200. You can reserve VIP spots for your group. Just go on the website. It's got everything there. paysbig.com/sportsbook. You can start building bets as well. 20-minute reserved parking spaces if you want to get in and get out. Bet above the rest. You know where to go. It's Potawatomi Casino Hotel and the wonderful, wonderful Sportsbook. All right, coming up next, Goody talks about his philosophy with the wide receiver position. Will he do the thing that's been talked about at length here? 2002. If you don't know it's Javon Walker, you do now. That was the last time the Packers drafted a wide receiver in the first round. It's gaining some steam internally. Rob Domofsky, Jason Wilde, Brad Nortman's been running this for a good 3 weeks now or so.
Longer than that.
Okay, well,
Couple
whatever.
months, maybe.
But what's Goody think about the wide receiver position? That's most important. What Brad, what Jason, what Rob, they don't matter. It's what Goody says. More from Goody next.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman.
Do you think?
Nope.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Need a new vehicle? Check out Ewald Automotive Group's Spring Into a New Ride sales event. Over 1,500 new and used vehicles. Get Ewald's low price guarantee on new vehicles. Shop our certified best used cars starting under $99.95. Financing for everyone. No payments till summer with approved credit. Now is the time to upgrade with Ewald. Friendly people who treat you right. Great selection and low prices at 10 locations.
Go to EwaldAuto.com.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
You're listening to Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
All right, so Are we going to buck the trend? Well, I hope the Milwaukee Bucks can buck their trend after game one.
We'll be all right, don't worry.
But the 2002 stat of Javon Walker is going to be running for another 30 years potentially. Because I don't know how Brad wants to stay on his bandwagon of thinking the Packers are going to select a wide receiver in the first round when I hear Goody talk about how he's not open to looking at guys needing to make an impact in the first round. And then he also talks about the wide receiver room earlier today at his press conference. Here's Goody.
You know, you get the Javon Walker question every year, but do you think you're looking at the position any differently this year because of the visits you had and maybe where your roster is at that position?
No, I don't think so. I feel really good about our roster right now. I mean, I think that's one of the. It doesn't happen every year. I mean, every year is a little bit different. But if we had to go play next week, I feel really good about our roster and our ability to win and go compete. So. Really across the board. So, hopefully as this draft unfolds, we're able to just kind of sit back and select the best players that fall to us. I mean, that'll be, I think something we've prepared ourselves to be in. So, no, I don't think we've looked at it really any differently than other than certainly if there's an opportunity to take a player at that position that makes sense, we'll do it. But I don't think we feel like we need to do anything.
They don't feel like they need to do anything, Brad, so you still want to be riding this bandwagon about drafting a wide receiver in round one? I'm actually, Brad came to us in the pre-show. He goes, guys, Jason Wilde, Rob Domofsky, they're all talking about it. They're talking about the potential that they are starting to believe the Packers may draft a wide receiver in the first round. I'm actually going to do you a solid. You're going to come in here and say, anyone else want to jump on my bandwagon? Yeah. I'm going to give you the chance to jump off your own.
No chance. I'm staying on it until the Packers read that name on Thursday night. I am convinced that they're going to take one. This is two things for Goody. Well, three. Either he's delusional and he just doesn't see.
What I got written down there? Delusional. I know a delulu when I hear one.
He's either delusional.
You've dated so many.
Hey, leave me alone.
He's either delusional. He's trying to be deceptive, and he actually will take a wide receiver in the first round, but he's trying to cover his tracks. Or
he don't never do that.
He believes so highly in his skills and his former draft picks, and he sees something that we just don't see. Now, I think he's leaning in the delusional area because there's no way that you can tell me that he feels good. Well, I guess maybe he does. There's no way you can convince me to feel good about this roster if they were to roll out next week and play a game.
Yes, I can. He says something in there, Brad. You know what he said? He said to compete. He didn't say to win championships. He said to compete. That just takes you into his mind frame is that he's thinking about, this team can go out there and compete. No, I don't want you to be talking about competing. Brad, you talked about sense of urgency. Sense of urgency ain't to compete. Boy, you already figured that out. That's good.
I think we got to go back to that sense of urgency quote and continue to remind people that after we listened to it the first time after the season, it felt like he was talking to the players. And then once we started hearing murmurs about how aggressive they may be in free agency, we're like, oh, Goody was also talking about himself. And then we listened back to it. It's like, no, he's clearly thinking the players need a sense of urgency because in this clip, he's talking about how he loves his roster and he's ready to roll the ball out and say, Green 19 said hut. And then they're good to go.
This team led the NFL in drops last year. It brought down Jordan Love's completion percentage by 3 percentage points, 3 or 4. That's a lot. They also lost your number one wide receiver in Christian Watson. He won't be back until November.
Per Rob Domofsky, 99.5% chance that Jair is not back with the Packers.
Yep.
Said that on Wilde and Tausch this morning. A cornerback who was an all-pro.
So this wide receiver group, plus a Jair-less cornerback room with Hobbs, who's solid, but that's not a Super Bowl type of cornerback room, and a D-line that cannot figure out how to produce. I don't know how you can look at that roster and say, we're ready. We don't need to go. We don't need anyone to contribute. It just makes no sense to me, and I don't know how we can speak out of both sides of his mouth saying we need a sense of urgency, our championship window is now, and be so lax about expectations and thinking they need to get better.
But he just said he believes in his roster. So he doesn't think he needs to move with urgency the same way that you guys want him to. That's where you guys got to separate
Is he
it.
gaslighting us?
No, he believes everything he's saying.
He does, because as Brad said, he's delulu. He's delusional. And so it's just hard for me to fathom and understand. As Brad and you, Ben, talked about it so well, about the wide receiver room. You're losing your number one. Well, not number one. Losing Christian Watson, somebody who...
Maybe the most explosive.
Yeah, definitely most explosive wide receiver. Your defensive line, you're not adding on anybody. You're hoping for improvement. And Ben said a long time ago, hope is not
a strategy.
And so you're hoping for that to happen. And then you talked about the fact that cornerback CB1 is completely gone. And you're talking about a guy in Keyshawn Nixon that you signed to be a special teams guy. He has played above his pay grade, but he's not a number one corner. And Carrington Valentine wasn't drafted to be a number one corner. Hell, he might not even drafted to be a number two corner. He was drafted for depth. So when I look at this roster and I look at the guys, the teams who are chasing, we're talking about the Detroit Lions, and the only reason that we're hopeful that the Packers beat Detroit Lions is because they lost their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, but they still have those dudes on the football field. You're chasing behind a team like the Philadelphia Eagles that ain't really lose too much. They lost a couple guys, but their offense is still explosive, and the defense still has some young emerging talent as well. And so these are the guys that you're chasing. They have guys that sit back and let them develop from year 2 to year 3 or 1 to 2. You don't have that luxury. So to sit here and feel confident and good about a roster without improving it that was not good enough to compete and win championships last year is absolutely delusional. What world does he live in where he doesn't feel like he needs to improve the roster in order to get better to reach the level of competency and talent these other teams have? You were 1-5 in your division. You lost every single game to any good football team you played last year, and you are content with where they're at?
Yeah, I think last week we spent a lot of time. We stumbled into it. I think with Tausch about if they were to draft an offensive lineman in the first round. I guess for me, the reason why I was okay with the idea, I would prefer if the right defensive lineman or corner. I'm personally just not in the believing in the wide receiver thing until it happens. I'm just not getting my hopes up. That's just the way I'm going to operate in terms of the draft pick. But when we were talking about the scenario of I'd be okay with him drafting an offensive tackle, it's because when I look at the roster, I don't know if there's anything that they can do that will change my mind into telling me they're a championship team. But now I become frustrated this week when I hear Goody talk about how he thinks the roster's really good and how he feels he doesn't need to change his approaches at all. Mine came from all right, if the board falls a certain way, sure, get a tackle.
Yeah, you fell into the groupthink of Goody. That's the problem.
Now I'm basically just hearing he, based off what I saw last year, based off the holistic 53-man roster, they're not close to, as Kyle had said, as to all those other teams. And I believe that Kyle is right, and that they don't have the luxury of other teams as well to be drafting and saying from any position standpoint that they can just sit back and if the opportunity is there, then maybe it'll be. But no, I feel as if this roster is good, not great, and that everyone who would be drafted in the first round would have an opportunity to compete for a position. But he made it seem it's just they can grow, they can develop. Yeah, sure. But at the same time, he's kind of doing the both sides of his mouth thing, and now that's where I've shifted back to. I tried to meet Goody halfway last week. I tried. I was like, you know what? If he drafts a tackle, that means he's telling us that he probably is a year away from making that championship push. But now when he's opening his mouth and telling me that this roster's good enough, I have a hard time just being yeah, I agree.
Well, and let us not forget that Super Bowl week, Josh Jacobs, the workhorse star running back on the Packers, was on Kay Adams. And Kay asked him something to the effect of, so do you think you're a guy away? You think you're a player away? You know what his response was? I think we're more like a few. So he was saying, we're not one player away, we're 3. And that's basically saying we're not good enough at multiple positions to be able to compete for a championship. So Josh Jacobs sees it. Why can't Goody see it? We see it. Why can't Goody see it?
And so what's so infuriating about this conversation, KBN Nation? I understand I can be overly emotional, but right now I'm going to try to be more pragmatic and provide just some examples.
Well, how about you do that on the other side? Get your pragmatic examples ready. Take a deep breath, and then don't yell at Goody. Present the facts, what you think will put Goody in a bad light.
I'm going to bring Goody to the court of Kyle Wallace.
Oh.
Goody to the court of Kyle Wallace on Kyle Brust and Norman across ESPN Wisconsin. I'm intrigued.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman, KBN.
Yeah, see, the thing about me is I like
You
a little
like crazy.
I like crazy. I like a little excitement in my life. I like a little bit of drama.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
There's a winning magic powering up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This April, prepare for an exciting quest to $300,000 in the Enchanted Spins Slot Tournament. Just conjure your rewards card and play slots to earn drawing entries. Each Thursday, 60 winners will compete for thousands in cash and prizes. Let your journey begin with Enchanted Spins, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
At the Knickerbocker Hotel, we believe your stay should be as convenient and luxurious as possible. Whether you're planning a small meeting or a special event, our versatile space is perfect for any occasion. Start your day with a delicious meal at the Nick Restaurant and Bar, or unwind at the Nick Salon and Spa. Wanting to stay active? Their 24-hour fitness center is always available. If you need something custom made or alterations made, there's a tailor on site. The Knickerbocker, where every detail is designed with your comfort in mind. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
Quality isn't just a promise, it's a process. At Higher Love, they craft with integrity, delivering farm-to-table products you can trust. As the only clean green certified organic cultivator in the Upper Peninsula, Higher Love takes pride in growing pure premium products, meaning better quality at better value and a difference you can feel. You can find Higher Love just across the border in Menominee and Ironwood, or at any of their 9 locations throughout the UP. Get more information at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Why is everyone coming on their riding mowers and UTVs?
I figured all the neighbors could use a break from yard work, so I invited them for
a ride-on lawnmower movie?
Or, as I like to say, a movie.
We've got the value you need to do things your way. Like all pairs of Skechers, buy one, get one half price. Select 4 packs of ratcheting tie-downs, $17.99. And new colors of men's work and sport polos, $15.99. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
Oh, wow, honey, I love it. It's so beautiful and so sparkly.
Just like you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
I'll wear it every day. It goes with everything.
This Mother's Day, wow Mom with spirit-lifting, outfit-making, express your love jewelry. Shop jtv.com/mom for wow-worthy and budget-friendly styles.
I'm never taking it off.
Another wow factor? Sign up for JTV Text and get $30 off. If she loves jewelry, she'll love JTV.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're listening to Kyle Bruston Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Brian Gutekunst spoke to the media today. The NFL draft is in Green Bay. It's Kyle Bruston Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Chris Larson in for Alex Strofe. And Kyle, you want to hold Goody accountable.
I sure do.
And are you going to be able to do this without getting mad at him?
I'm going to try my best.
Okay.
I'm going to try my best without getting mad because sometimes I get frustrated with the different things that come to mind or things that Goody does. But Goody just said earlier he was asked whether or not a first-round pick should be able to contribute right away to the roster. And Chris, his response to that question of should they be able to contribute was?
No.
That's just ridiculous to me. Now, some may say, Kyle, you're being over the top, being ridiculous. Here's my evidence. Right now, I said the Green Bay Packers are chasing two teams, one of the teams in our division. Think about the Detroit Lions. Do you realize in the first round, the Detroit Lions don't have that same philosophy now, do they, Ben? And yes, they've drafted
earlier.
They've drafted earlier. But Terrion Arnold, last year, he had an up-and-down rookie year, but what did he play as a first-round draft pick? He played a lot of football for him because they expected him to make an impact. Jameer Gibbs, they got him at 12. What did he do? Stud. Jack Campbell got him at 18. What did he do?
Stud.
Aiden Hutchinson, now he was early on, so you expect him to be a stud. But again, he played an impact on this team. I can keep going down, but you say, okay, what about he's drafting early? What about the Philadelphia Eagles, right?
Oh.
There's a guy named Quinion Mitchell last year, got drafted number 22. What did he do last year? Started on the Super Bowl winning championship team, did he not?
All rookie team, I believe.
Okay, Jalen Carter. Granted, that was a number 9 overall pick. I believe they traded up to go get him, but what happened? He contributed to the field, the team. Nolan Smith Jr., he got hurt in the game against the Packers, but what did he have? He had a big interception, I believe, in that game as well. Jordan Davis, Devontae Smith. Like, all these are guys who are they're studs, right? These are guys that they drafted that are making an impact on the football team.
All right, so what does it have to do with the Green Bay Packers selections?
So for me, when I look at the Green Bay Packers overall, is you hear a general manager saying, no, a guy in the first round doesn't need to make an impact right away. Well, I just showed you the reason why they need to make an impact right away, because those are the guys that are the foundation for success. All those guys I listed for the Detroit Lions are contributing for the Detroit Lions. All the guys I just listed for the Philadelphia Eagles are contributing to a championship roster for the Philadelphia Eagles. If the Packers had just half that, if the Packers out of the last 8 drafts had half the first round picks actually make big contributions on this football team, we're having a different conversation. If you hit just either with Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, or Lucas Van Ness, if you hit on one of those guys where they were actually a guy you can't wait to give him an extension, this defense is different. You're talking about a stud linebacker on the inside that's stopping the run and making plays in the passing game. That would be great. You're talking about a D lineman that's getting pressure by himself, doesn't need a stun or anything like that. You can just bull rush or beat an offensive lineman. You're talking about a different conversation.
But that's the 13th pick in the draft, the one that I think you should hold most accountable for Goody.
They're first round picks. I don't care where you got picked at, if it's the 28th pick, the 22nd pick, or the 13th pick, or the top 5 pick. If you are in the first round, I expect at some point you start contributing, and I expect in the first year you make a contribution, because other teams, other football teams have been able to do that. You can even look at the Kansas City Chiefs where they're getting contributions from their guys in the first round.
Your point is taken, because Dave from Aaron chimes in the Carbus Talking text line. All Goody is doing is covering his behind by saying a first-round pick doesn't need to contribute right away because most of his first-round picks don't.
That's where, I think he's trying to change the narrative, right? Because he knows his draft history isn't very good. And I don't know if he's trying to lower expectations going in the future, like he's concerned for job security as Ed Policy comes in here and takes over for Mark Murphy. But I don't know another franchise, and that includes, the Jags and the Panthers, ones that I was a part of, that we had some success at that time, but now they're not experiencing that. Even teams of a lower standing in the NFL that are much lower than the Packers, I don't know another team that thinks so casually about first round draft picks. There's a reason why Thursday night is an absolutely massive night.
It's just one day.
One of the biggest nights of
the NFL. They don't do round 1 and round 2. They do round 1.
Every first round draft pick flown in, celebrated like a prize pony. And if you don't expect him to come in here and be a contributor, then what are you doing? You cannot build a Super Bowl winning roster if you cannot have first round draft picks contribute year one. Now, that's not the 5th rounder, but the first rounder, you got to show up and it's got to be day one.
Would you ever want them to trade up and just yes or no?
Yes.
I don't trust Goody to trade up to go get the right guy.
That's what my point was going to be, because you want to say yes, but the evidence is he hasn't been great in the first round. The last time he traded up, though, he did.
For Jair Alexander, I believe was the last time, and he ended up working out.
Jair and Jordan Love, they traded up for. I think when he trades up, he has conviction about that guy. Now, Goody has conviction about guys not starting either, or not contributing year one. But it seems like it's a marriage between need and holy cow, this guy's available. That seems to be what happens when he trades up. So that's the only. It's an aggressive stance that you don't see out of Goody. I want more.
Brandon chimes in on the Carbless Talking text line. It's a good day for Kyle right now. I mean, typically the Carbless Talking text line is after flip-flop halfway Kyle.
Listen, go Pack, go, baby. I'm in Packers gear Monday through Wednesday. Like, I love my Packers.
Kyle's nailing this. The Packers have been good in spite of how many misses Goody has. Imagine if he actually hit on some of these first-round picks.
Imagine being able to tell your boss, I'm going to pick this guy here, and I promise you, I'm going to sell you this dream. 2 years from now, in his year 3, he's going to be great. He's going to be great. But what about Eric Stokes? Hey, Ed. Eric Stokes, an anomaly. I had Jordan Love, remember? Remember Jordan Love?
So I think the fascinating thing to me right now is he continues to do enough, though, like, because we're very draft-focused right now. He does deserve credit for drafting signing Josh Jacobs and signing Xavier McKinney. And the transition from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, like they've made the playoffs the last 2 years. And ultimately, he is responsible for putting together the roster, and that's a success. Now, is it successful enough to your standard? Maybe, maybe not. You get to be the judge of that.
What do you mean? We all should be the judge.
I know you all but you're not the only judge. I'm talking to KBN Nation.
KBN Nation. If you're looking at the first round picks and you said, he did good in the second round and the third round the last couple of years, so that should make up for it. Hell no. You need to hit in the first round. He ain't gonna hit every year, but y'all show me the hit. Show me the hit out of the last 5 first round picks. You show me it. Matter of fact, show me 4 guys that hit since he started drafting in 2018. Show me 4.
I said don't get mad this segment.
Was I mad?
It sounded a little mad. What I love is the new inspiration campaign at the Princeton Club. Strong community, strong body, and strong mind. Because you can have it all there. I've talked about how when they have their check-in challenge, they did that in February. It helped feed food pantries across the Milwaukee area and the Madison area. They have initiatives as well. You can also have that strong body by going simply in there to work out with the best equipment in the state. Clean health clubs, free childcare with the membership, and you work out, you get those endorphin flowing, you're going to have that strong mind. So you combine them all, and you will achieve a better tomorrow at the Princeton Club. No goal is too small or too big. Simply get started at the Princeton Club and find your better tomorrow. Lots of stuff going on in the world of Wisconsin sports. You have Craig Yoho coming up to the Brewers from AAA with a 0.00. Crazy to say. ERA. Damian Lillard upgraded to questionable, and the NFL draft is in Green Bay in 3 short days. Kyle Brusson-Ortman in 2 minutes continues. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what you need when you've been in a serious truck accident. Call Gruber Law Offices. We've successfully helped people injured by big trucks for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Landworks handles projects of all sizes. From a cozy pocket patio lush with greenery to a grand outdoor hosting space and everything in between. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all of your landscaping needs. The Landworks team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Brust and Nortman every day from 2 to 5, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN on ESPN Wisconsin. Here's Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, and Brad Nortman.
Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman hanging out with you. KBN Nation at 800-990-3776. A lot of reaction on the Carbless Talk and text line. Less is more. Find us on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. It's a big week. It's a big week. Damian Lillard upgraded to questionable for the Bucks. The NFL draft is in this state. It is in Wisconsin for the first time since 1939.
Oh,
Nailed it, Ben. Let's go.
Where it was in Milwaukee.
Attaboy.
You know where?
Did he say?
What did he say?
The Hilton right up the street.
Visit the Hilton.
We had Josh from Visit Milwaukee join us, tell us all about what's going on for the draft. There's so much going on. Just know that this is big for the state, bringing people in, and it's going to be exciting. But I want to know how much excitement the Packers are going to captivate with their pick. I already know Brad's just staying. I appreciate you staying firm on your stance, but there's no way if I put a lie detector on you that you truly believe that the Packers are going to take a wide receiver in the first round.
No, I do. I have a deep level of conviction. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but this feels like the year. There's a need.
I like that, Kyle.
There's a couple
Look at
guys
Kyle,
that are
Mr. Put money on it guy.
I'll put. Well, what are the odds?
It was plus 700.
Yeah.
I'll do plus.
It was plus 300. It went to plus 700. You're asking for it to get worse before you put more money on it?
Yeah, well, I have a couple bets out that I feel like I'm not going to hit on. So.
Oh, stop! You know what? Give me your ticket.
Bucks lose game one, and you already. Wait, you have a championship bet and the first round, and you're already saying he's counting his losses already.
I feel okay about the first round. I don't think this team is championship bound anymore.
All it took was one loss after they won 8 straight.
Well, I tried telling you were an idiot.
No, I didn't listen. I didn't put money on that, even with Homer with the great odds.
Do you think, I'm just thinking about the draft on Thursday night. We're all going to be there. Do you think the crowd will boo or cheer?
Wide receiver back up to plus 400. You could have grabbed it at plus 700.
Buddy.
Cheer.
They're going to cheer or boo?
They're going to cheer. They're going to cheer it because it's Green Bay, it's Packers fans.
No matter what? Even if it's O-line?
Yeah, they'll cheer O-line.
No matter what, you're going to get cheers.
Listen, we are sheep here in Green Bay.
You are sheep.
No, me am a reflection of the Green Bay Packer Nation, is that most of the fans are going to cheer whoever it is. I mean, most people don't even know who it is. They're just going to cheer. Well, yeah. Ooh.
But isn't that the problem? This is why, there's this narrative in Goody we trust. We're just implicitly trusting him. But meanwhile, he has no expectation of them to even contribute.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's shameful that the fact that we don't apply pressure to Goody, but I mean, we don't have an owner who has to worry about pressure.
Pressure's being applied by the results of next year. And if he truly believes that he's got the roster, we're going to see that. Let's hear 2 cuts from Goody, the most impactful ones. Him being asked a question about if his first-round pick needs to make an impact for this team next year.
No, I think you'd love to, but I think you guys, a lot of you guys that have been around here, it's great when they do, but that's not always the case. This is the transition to the National Football League is tough. It's not always easy. A lot of times it's really determined by opportunity. You know what I mean? If you take a guy
a lot of it is determined by opportunity. And see, that I fundamentally disagree, because if you're drafting somebody in the first round, their talent should be good enough to compete at any position outside of quarterback. Otherwise you have a bunch of spots where you need depth and can compete. And like football's based off of like, if you're better, if you're good enough, you'll find your way onto the field.
I still think it's going to be a wide receiver, but do you think this is Goody tipping his hand and he's probably going to go over D-line?
No.
Well, before
Goody
we
does
react
not
further, I do want to hear him talk about the wide receiver group because it basically talks about more than the wide receiver group. It gives an insight into his mindset about this overall roster that the Green Bay Packers have.
No, I don't think so. I feel really good about our roster right now. I think that's one of the. It doesn't happen every year. every year is a little bit different. But if we had to go play next week, I feel really good about our roster and our ability to win and go compete. So, really across the board. So, hopefully as this draft unfolds, we're able to just kind of sit back and select the best players that fall to us. That'll be, I think something we've prepared ourselves to be in. So, no, I don't think we've looked at it really any differently other than certainly if there's an opportunity to take a player at that position that makes sense, we'll do it. But I don't think we feel like we need to do anything.
What is he seeing that we're not seeing? You know what I mean? Like he's making it sound like they're the most complete team.
Well, you know what I think it is?
We already said. Do y'all want me to read the definition of delusional?
No,
I just want y'all to know this is what delusional is. Delusional is where you think that you're doing something right. You think you know all the answers, when in reality, everybody around you know that you don't have the answers. That's what we're saying.
He had said we are competitive. We can compete all across the board. How do you look all across the board at this roster and say yes?
He said, "I did that. I did that. I did that."
You know how I look at all of my here Brad's outs as my children? And maybe that creates a little bit of a delusional bias toward how good the take is or not. It's just like parents with their own kids. They think their kids are, the best thing that's walking planet Earth, and they're going to be playing in the NFL. They're going to be the movie star. But you look at it and you're like, well, you're not really thinking objectively, right? You're subjectively altered by your relationship with them. I think Goody is of such the belief of his own drafting abilities that the guys that haven't hit, it's not his fault, right? Maybe it's coaching, maybe it's injury, maybe it's something like that. But he is so convinced in his own confidence in drafting that he's like, oh, it's just a matter of time. This team is good. I selected them. It's my team. I remade it, so I'm good. But he can't see it objectively.
Has he looked at these guys after he drafted them and seen them go on to be successful after he drafted them? That would give him some type of validity. See, it wasn't me. We haven't seen that yet. He hasn't drafted enough guys yet, but we haven't seen anybody go on to be. Darnell Savage is the only one, and I don't think anybody.
He went to Jacksonville and he was.
You think Jacksonville's like, boy, we got to steal.
No.
Josh Myers was signed for what, $1 million?
And he's a second-round pick. That just shows you.
Eric Stokes got signed for what, $4 million?
He got signed for less than what you signed a cornerback that you just signed for.
Beads in Milwaukee, you're up on the Carbless Talk and text line. You want to help Kyle out?
I want to help Kyle win some money. Then he can spend $350 on baby girl.
Come on now, help me and baby girl.
All right. They're going to trade up in the draft. They're going to draft a wide receiver, and it's going to be the guy out of Arizona.
Ooh, Tataroa. McMillan. I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
So how does that make him money?
Because he wants me to bet on receiver.
Oh, you poorly on all that, man. You're going to be in the money.
Yeah, but he won't. He'll put $1 on it all because he's scared to do anything.
$1 turns into $25.
If it's that easy, then everyone would do it.
Yeah, it's guessing.
So we think he's going to trade up, which he hasn't done since 2018. We think he's going to pick a wide receiver, which the franchise hasn't done since 2002. You want to bet on that? You want to listen to Beads?
You know what?
I said $1.
I'm still convinced this is the time. I'm going to reapply the invitation to you guys. This will be the last opportunity that you can join the wide receiver bandwagon. After this moment right now, when Jason Wilde comes on, you can no longer claim that you were ahead of it, calling that Packers would draft the wide receiver. Jump on the bandwagon. Come on and join.
Based off my recent betting record.
Everyone's running for the hills right now.
Based off my betting record, I don't want to frustrate myself and put any of that juju on what you got with the bandwagon. So I'm going to stay away from that bandwagon.
I don't really think it's a bandwagon. It's just a guy pulling a wagon with nothing in it.
I'm like a parade behind me. Come on, everybody. And there's no one behind me.
The problem is if he drafts a wide receiver and it's one that I don't like, then I'm going to be mad.
What if he drafts a wide receiver?
Oh, you're so petty.
What if he drafts a wide receiver?
You're not an NFL scout analyst / talent evaluator.
We did some research here, and had he listened to me the last couple of drafts.
That's great. It's revisionist history. It could be in a made-up Word document that you just typed.
I will say,
here we go.
If he drafts a wide receiver round 1, and Golden is still there or McMillan, and he drafts some D2 guy, I'll be like, oh, I want to take back my my wide receiver thing. That would be such a Goody move, wouldn't it?
No,
it would be.
Listen, I want a wide receiver.
I've said many times I'm not going to be putting my name on something like this. Why?
Hope, Ben.
We're overdue.
We are well overdue.
Overdue and hope.
That's right.
After the man at the combine said they've been drafting defensive philosophy the same way for the last 30 years. After the man said that he's not going to change his philosophy about wide receiver in the first round. Why?
And he said that he thinks this wide receiver group is just fine. He could play next week.
I'll say this though, Brad. If he doesn't draft a receiver in the first round, I'm going to hold my anger unless he passes on Tetaroa McMillan from Arizona. If he passes on him, I'm going to be so upset. But you can find one. If he drafts one in the second round, I will be okay. First round, okay, you don't do it. All right, I'm going to wait to the second round. Now, second round, if he don't draft somebody in the second round, then I'm going to be heated. So he has the first 2 rounds to draft a wide receiver for me before I blow a gasket.
Jason was asking a couple of these questions. That is Jason Wilde, who talked to Goody, also hosted Wilde and Tausch with Gabe Neitzel. Jason Wilde. Let's try not to yell at him today, Kyle. How was Sunday Karma with him yesterday? Good?
It was pleasant. Jason, just don't, just as long as he doesn't say anything crazy or he becomes a Goot stan, which he's not the Goot stan. That's his co-host, who's the Goot apologist and Tauscher. So we should be good today.
We'll see what Jason Wilde has to say after hearing from Brian Gutekunst today in the media. Plus, Kyle Wallace could not have been more wrong about anything in the entire world than he was with the Bucs prediction he had on Friday. We'll hit on all that coming up. Kyle Brust.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN.
I'm a tool. My name is Ben Brust, and I'm a tool.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Well, we got a new accident now on 94 eastbound, just past 25th Street. It's actually a disabled vehicle that is partially in the right lane. So that's going to be causing some issues. We got delays coming in from 84th Street. Northbound on 43, right around the North Avenue curve, you'll start to slow down all the way up towards Keefe. Northbound 41, still a hefty ride from Blue Mound Road all the way up past Hampton. A lot of that has to do with road work. And then we have another accident on the ramp from 76th Street to 894 eastbound. Delays going through the Hale interchange to that point. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, isolated showers early, then very windy. Some sun later on with a high of 54. Tomorrow, mostly clear, not as windy, a low of 39. Weather is brought to you by Avondale Roofing. Raise the roof and your standards with Avondale Roofing. Your trusted partner for over 30 years. Remember, they get on top so you don't have to. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And now, unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see on the horizon, Green Bay is going to run this thing back and probably pick up an early round draft pick to add to that room.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you hope that these other guys will emerge and can add, but I don't see them making a J.R. Ewing type change.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some great news from my friends at Bank 5-9. For a limited time, you can earn as much as 4.8% on one of their CD specials. With 9, 17, and 25-month options, you're sure to find a CD that fits your needs while you earn a great return. It's simply another way Bank 5-9 is making lives better in our communities. Hurry, these high rates won't last long. Check out bank59.com/CD for more details. Member FDIC.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit. Pay no interest until 2030, plus $500 off your home improvement project. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
This wasn't how Patrick here in Milwaukee pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. The Wolf of Wall Street was on the other day when I was flipping through channel. Great family film.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
I'm a naturally inquisitive person.
Holding everybody accountable.
If you feel better about that, I'm happy to do so.
Jason Wilde is on Kyle Brust and Nortman.
Ben Brust, Kyle Walsh, Brad Nortman, no Alex Strofe. He's up in Green Bay. So we have Chris Larson in his place running the show. Joining us right now is Jason Wilde of Wilde and Tausch. Jason, lots of information out there from Goody's press conference and clips being sent to me. I want to get through it all with you. So let's jump right in. How are you?
Good. How are you? Let's go.
Doing well. I guess the thing that is frustrating Kyle most is hearing Goody talk about how he doesn't expect a first-round pick to contribute right away. Can you talk him off the ledge?
Well, I know Kyle is doing well, but why is he not doing well with that statement? Why does that bother you?
Because it sets the bar extremely too low, and when you look at the first-round picks that he has had, these guys aren't contributing year one, and that's hurting this football team. But then even more than that, they're not developing down the road the way that you need it. When you look at other organizations, I know the Detroit Lions, they drafted a lot of guys high, but those guys have turned into cornerstone or foundational players. You even look at like the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of those guys have turned into contributors. So when you set the bar as, no, we don't need them to contribute, when you have holes on the defensive line, you have holes at cornerback, you have holes at wide receiver, you need to find somebody who can actually contribute right away. You don't want to have back-to-back-to-back years where you're drafting somebody and you're basically getting no production from them in year one.
Yeah, I would say the second half of what you said there, though, is the disconcerting part, right? Like, they've made the playoffs each of the last 2 years with Lucas Van Ness having a minimal impact 2 years ago, with Jordan Morgan having minimal impact last year. That doesn't bother me, but if I'm a Packers fan, the second half of what you said, which I think is a very valid criticism, is the problem, right? They paid, let's go back to 2019, right? 2018 was Goody's first draft. He took Jair. He's been an All-Pro twice. Regardless of the situation with him now, the dude came in, contributed right away, and played at a high level, and has been a very good player for them when he's on the field. There's no denying that. 19, they have 2 first-round picks. Rashawn Gary, very limited production as a rookie. Darnell Savage starts as a rookie, but never develops, to the second half of your point. And they paid Rashawn Gary, but to what degree Rashawn Gary has emerged and developed as an elite pass rusher, he hasn't gotten to that level yet. 2020 is Jordan Love. We all know how long it took, what the process was for him to become a starter. 2021, Eric Stokes started a bunch of games as a rookie, didn't develop into a very good player. He had injury issues, I get it, but there's a reason why he took a 1-year prove-it deal with the Raiders and why the Packers made no effort to re-sign him. 2022, Quay Walker was an opening day starter. I think he started every game as a rookie that he wasn't getting kicked out of. But again, where is his development at? I may die on this hill, but I am a believer that he was turning the corner last year. I was writing a story for my preview series on him at the linebacker position, and if you look at how he played against San Francisco and then Miami on Thanksgiving, I think a light bulb had gone on. Unfortunately, a couple weeks later, he hurts his ankle. But it's interesting, Goody did say, one of the things that jumped out today is that both he and Devontae Wyatt are guys that they want in 2026 and beyond. So it sounds, based on what Goody said, that they're not necessarily going to give them the fifth-year option. Instead, they want to get extensions done with both of them. So
Is that a smart
That's a
move?
surprise to me, Jason.
Well, it's not that surprising because it could also just be built out the same way he's building out all these contracts, where it's just like a 2-year front load.
Right, and so they would get probably a little bit more money than the fifth-year option would be worth for each of them, but they would have longer control, and then if they pop, they're under contract already, and if they stink, you paid a little bit more in the short term, but you're not carrying one of them with like a $15 million cap number this year and another one with a $12 million cap number this year. So that, but I think
Jason, you just said something I think that is so key. Me and Brad looked at each other. If they pop, we're talking about year 4 popping. Like, how long does it take to? Like, how long are we supposed to give these guys? This was college football. You're talking about we're gonna wait till the red shirt senior year, 5th year.
Well, if this was college football, they probably would have transferred twice already. But that's a fair critique. There's no doubt about it. Now, is it a lot easier to get guys that pop when you're drafting 5th or 8th or 11th?
Yeah. Or 13th.
As opposed to Quay Walker was 22nd, Devontae Wyatt was 28th or 29th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit different there. But no, look, the criticism of Lucas Van Ness is extremely fair. I mean, he's the 13th overall pick. The guy that went 2 picks later in the pick swap to the Jets.
10.5.
Will McDonald, 10.5 sacks. The pride of Pulaski High School in Milwaukee, and then was it Waukesha North after that?
I think it was Waukesha North.
So my point is that your critique is not unfair, but to me the bigger issue is at what point do these guys develop? I don't have a problem with guys not contributing right away. I have a big problem with guys not becoming really good players because that's the point of being a first-round pick. And so I don't think you're off base there. I just wouldn't be bothered by, if they draft an edge rusher and suddenly, both Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness play to the level that they should as first-round picks, to the level that the Smith brothers did in 2019, right? They didn't need Rashawn Gary that year because Preston and Za'Darius Smith were awesome as pass rushers. So, again, that is not a concern for me, but I do think this, and I think we all need to come to grips with this, that when Goody says stuff about, we have everything we need with the pass rush or how good he feels about the wide receivers, I don't think that's just saying nice things about the guys on his team anymore. I thought that maybe that was it, but he had a line today, and I don't know if Wooly clipped it or not, but I just got done typing it into my story, and that is, if we had to go play next week, I feel really good about our roster.
I feel like I played it 10 times because I can't get over that. Mostly because it told me, and I think you have the same takeaway, is he's not blowing smoke. I think this man truly believes, based off his quote in the question that you asked him at the end of the season, and now doubling down now, that the guys in the building and the guys on the roster, he truly believes there's enough.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question, Ben. Like, I had been maybe in that crowd of saying, well, I think I said it to you guys, well, what the hell is he going to say? Right? You didn't sign a free agent pass rusher, so you kind of have to say, we feel we can get it done with the guys we've already got on the team. Right? You got to say that because that's all you got on the team. Now, again, actions matter, and he had a bunch of edge rushers that came in for visits, and some of them our first round talents that he may pick. You know, the Georgia kid, Mikael Williams, Shamar Stewart, and his 9.99 RAS score, which Goody says they don't use that. Which
he has his own. I was told he has his own score that they put together.
Which again, right? Which again was I was kind of like, I mean, okay, so you don't use that specific mathematical equation, but I was glad that he expounded, because when he first said that, I was like, oh no, come on, we all know that you care about that stuff. But I guess my point is that he clearly does believe that, because otherwise you don't keep blowing this smoke, right? Like, notice what he said about Jair, right? He definitely curtailed his answer about him now. Now it's, well, he's on the roster right now. Like, he finally said what usually people say, as opposed to his proclamation that if he's not going to be helping us win games, then we'd like to get something in return for him because we've invested a lot in him. Like, to me, that was more interesting to get a glimpse into. Okay, they're done with him. It's just a matter of how, not when. Whereas the other stuff, he really does believe in what he's got on his roster already.
Jason, I want to go back to the comment about the first-round draft pick contributing. You mentioned that you're okay with one maybe necessarily not having a big contribution round one or year one. But don't you think they need to? Because Goody has elected to craft this team on an ongoing basis as a young roster. So if you're a young roster, that means you got to play and play now. And even I believe it was Ron Wolf that said, only 1.6 guys per draft class get that second contract.
No, that's Goody that said that.
Oh, Goody said that. So even more so, that the guys you're going to have for the long term are very few. So those first 4-ish years of your contract, they're critical. So don't you think with a young team plus a sense of urgency, don't you think you would expect more contribution out of a first round draft pick?
I mean, he does go on to say that you would love for that to be the case. Right, he does say the transition to the National Football League is tough. It's not always easy. Most of the time, a guy's impact his rookie year comes down to the opportunities that he had more than anything. So, look, if he's drafted at wide receiver, let's say they draft McMillan, right?
I wish, McMillan. Boy, I'll go crazy.
Yeah, let's just use that as you know what you'd be doing. You'd be doing well. You'd be doing well.
Sure
but let's say it's him. Right, you don't know when you're going to have Watson back. You got questions about Romeo Dobbs. Like, he could come in and play right away and have a huge impact, right? Especially since you'd have to trade up to get him. But looking at where they're at on their team, I don't think if you drafted a linebacker, he'd play right away. We know who their starting 5 offensive linemen are. Defensive line, yeah, you could probably get a guy that could play right away, but not necessarily a requirement. Running back, you don't need. Quarterback, you don't need. Safety, you definitely don't need. And while you might want a guy that could come in and start day one at corner, I think they really like Hobbs. That's why they paid him. They really like Nixon, and they really like Valentine. So if those are your 3 corners, and then you got this bunch of safeties along with your first team All-Pro in Xavier McKinney, like, I don't look at their roster and say they got to get a guy that plays day one at this position. I don't see that. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't have improvements to make on their offense or on their defense or on their roster as a whole. I'm not saying that. I'm not on board with if they lined up with this group. If Goodell showed up and said, "Hey, in exchange for putting the draft in your little podunk town, you don't get to pick any players," I don't think that would be good for them. I'm not on board with Goody's position that they could win, that they could be a Super Bowl team if they don't add anything in the draft. But we have seen guys, it doesn't have to be the first-round pick. Edgerrin Cooper wasn't a first-round pick. There's no denying the impact he had. Evan Williams was a fourth-round pick. There's no denying the impact he had.
Totally agree. The likelihood is, based off trends, is that there's a better opportunity in the first round, but he's done well in the later rounds, as of recent.
Right. So my point is that that's not the part that would get me bent out of shape about Goody and anything he said today. I think the part that would bother me as a Packers fan is the point that Kyle May.
Yeah, and I want to stick there, Jason. As Jason Wilde's with us on Kyle Brust-Nortman, you mentioned the development, and we've gone through a couple of the guys from 18 to 19 to 20 to 21. What do you like? As someone who's been around the team for this long, like what do you attribute that to? Like the coaching or the talent?
I mean, it's the answer is always both,
of course,
right? I mean, that's always the primary. That's the first thing that anybody would say. But I would say that there have been players that have played a lot in their first 2-3 seasons, right, from the 22 and 23 draft classes in particular, and then you've got the 2020 and 2021 classes that each have one guy left. In Jordan Love and Isaiah McDuffie. But I would say they've missed on picks. Just because guys play a lot doesn't mean they're good, right? They may have some production because they play a lot, but that doesn't mean they're good or special. And so, from a developmental standpoint, like, that's why I just think this year is such a crucial year. I think it's crucial for Goody and LaFleur, obviously, but, look, I know Jordan Love does not lack for confidence. And I understand he dealt with some injuries last year. I'm not discounting those. But one of the things that I like best about Jordan is that he's not a finger pointer or a spread the blame around guy. Mm-hmm. And even with the drops, he would say, hey, look, I was not accurate enough this season, and I made it even harder for those guys. So I look at him as a guy who, when I say he's got to play better than he has, I don't feel like I'm disrespecting him at all. I feel like I'm saying the same thing that he would say, that he's got to be more mobile, he's got to be more accurate, he's got to make some more big plays. And so he's a guy but he's not the only one either, right? These wide receivers that they have on this team, they have to make a jump. Luke Musgrave has to make a jump. Like, these are guys that have been here and been on this roster now for 3.
How many guys can jump?
Yeah, that's a lot of hope and jumps, don't you think, Jason?
It's
for
not
this
though.
year?
I think that, Brad, you played in the league. Like, sometimes the light goes on at different times for different. And believe me, I'm not a Goody apologist here, right? And Musgrave,
most of the time you can see it though, Jason.
But I think we saw it with Musgrave. Like with Musgrave, for example, the issue has been staying healthy, right? I mean,
Correct.
He lacerates his kidney, he breaks his ankle, okay? With Wicks, I think we've definitely seen glimpses of it, and I give him credit because he was the guy who was dropping passes at an alarming rate, and if you look at the numbers in the second half of the season, he fixed it.
Yeah,
Jaden
Reed ended up being the consistent problem.
Right. So my point is that, as you well know, yes, you certainly want to be making strides year 1, year 2, but I bet you were a better punter in year 3 than you were in year 2 or year 1, right? And so, look, I'm not saying these guys all suck either. Like, they've all we've seen great moments from Jaden Reed. We've seen great moments from Luke Musgrave when he's not tripping over his legs like he's Bambi. We've seen those moments from Wicks, but they have to happen a heck of a lot more for them to get to where they want to go.
Yeah, I mean, the consistency is going to be a big thing, and I think you've said it a lot, and I keep using it. It is a pivotal year for Jordan Love and an interesting year for Goody and LaFleur together. We appreciate the time. It's just day 1 of NFL Draft Week. We'll be hearing you all
Jason,
week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Are you joining us live on Thursday, Jason?
I mean, I've considered the possibility. What are you going to sweeten the pot in any way for me, or am I just going out of
if just coming to see me out of love is too much for you, Jason, then I'll talk to you over the phone.
No, I think we've got all kinds of stuff going on. Let me put it this way. It is my intent to join you in person, but I need to get from the Tundra Trio back home for a little while before I head back to the stadium. So I will do everything I can to make sure that I see you in person and that you tell me that you're doing well. That's what
I expect nothing less than that. Thank you, Jason.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde with tons of insight, as this is only day 1, and there are so many things to dissect and talk about.
He was good.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Anytime he agrees with me is good.
I was going to say, that's why it was good. I was like, because he's like, oh, yeah, Kyle, your second part about development. Let's dive a little deeper. Yeah. Is it the talent or is it the coaching? Is it Goody's problem or is it LaFleur's problem that these first-round picks have not developed the way that people think they should? Next.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman.
We were going to extend more invites, but I just jumped the gun for some reason at the meeting because I thought I was being like funny and personable, and I just don't know how to read the room. I was like, oh, this guy who doesn't know me, he's going to think it's hilarious that I'm with Josh, and I'm saying, hey, Josh, you didn't get the first round invite. Suck it.
In what world would that person find that funny, though?
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Northbound on 41, we've got backups from about Blue Mound Road all the way up to almost Hampton. There's a lot of road work going on there, so we've got a lane down, and so that's why we're getting a little bit of a heavier ride there. Southbound, we are slowing down from before Hampton down past Capitol Drive. Northbound on 43, slowing from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Tee off at Lake Lawn Resort Majestic Oaks Golf Course, 18 holes lakeside in Delavan. Whether you're a pro or just starting, it's the perfect course. Book your tee time today at lakelawnresort.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, mostly clear, not as windy, a low of 39. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, chance for midday showers, maybe some thunder, a high of 53 at the lakefront, 60 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless mango vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new carbless mango vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. She is always right there when I need her. Oh, I think that I found myself a
Kyle Bruston Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. UKVN Nation at 800-990-3776, the Carbless Talk and Text line. I do find this an interesting exercise. Looking back at the first round picks, since 2018, I would give him a hot start with Jair Alexander and Rashawn Gary, despite the fact that at the time, Rashawn Gary was drafted the same year that they signed Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith. Didn't get a lot of tick, but obviously got his opportunities and worked his way into getting paid. He got hurt, hasn't been the same since. Darnell Savage, never really developed. They picked up his fifth-year option. He was no good, and he didn't go on to have a, we missed this guy career.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love we talked about. This is where it starts to get interesting. Eric Stokes.
Miss.
Quay Walker.
Meh.
Still waiting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and I like Quay.
Quay's the guy that like Jason described as he's productive because he just plays a lot. Like he's all right.
There's a guy that got drafted after him. I don't want to go too deep into names. A guy named Devin Lloyd that got drafted after him in that draft. Already got it, or they're talking about an extension with him, right? They want him.
Devontae Wyatt. Glimpses, flashes.
Yeah, okay.
Lucas Van Ness. I can't even say glimpses and flashes.
Mm-mm. He's there.
And Jordan Morgan, TBD. So really the conversation became, it's more of the, if you're not going to have these guys have a strong impact in the first round, what do they look like on their roster 3 to 4 years down the road? And is it a talent thing or do you put it on the floor?
To me, it's talent. I mean, I'll mostly look at the players, being in a locker room and once
it's not like LaFleur hasn't won football games.
Well,
he's winning football games with all the talent that Goody's providing him. I just don't. I'm with you. I look at there's enough evidence to say it's the player now.
Yeah.
How many times have we felt 3-4 to 4-3? Now it's. I can't fall for it. It's the second year of the 4-3 under Jeff Hafley. Like, how many times are we going to fall for this guy's going to do this now that this is happening?
Forever.
I mean, you're right, because when you look at it, I mean, it's not like high school or even college football where the coaching staff is teaching them technique and stuff. Like, these are pros. The coaches focus on scheme and matchups and things like that it's like heady level NFL. But when it comes to beating your man, when it comes to improving route running, when it comes to the one player could be Jordan Love. Like, Matt LaFleur might truly be able to help Jordan Love. This is what you're supposed to look at. This is how you read defenses. That's the one. But everybody else...
This is why we're going to run this play.
Yes.
Their tendencies are X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, because being a quarterback is like being a half a coach, right, with game planning and stuff. But everybody else, it's speed and strength. It's form that you should know by now. It is making yourself a better player. These guys aren't being taught technique and whatnot. Like, you should know that already. Or if you don't have that and you want to improve, all these guys go off in the offseason to get specific individual coaching. So it's on the players. The coaches are going to say, we are going to drop you in the right spot, and then you got to go win. And these guys are not winning. Now, maybe they weren't always dropped in the right spot. Maybe Joe Barry's defense was not putting everyone in the right spot. But I know I'm of the belief that Matt LaFleur and Jeff Hafley, generally speaking, are putting these guys in the right spot to say, okay, you have the matchup. We have what we want. Now you got to go win. You can't teach a D end how to beat a left tackle. That dude either knows how to do it, he has the speed and strength and will and technique to do it, or he doesn't. And if he doesn't do it, he needs to go find ways to do it. It's not on the coaches to teach you form and things like that at a granular level. This is the NFL. You don't do that.
Yeah, I think it's talent. Ben, you mentioned earlier, you talked about Josh Myers. If Josh Myers was so talented, he wouldn't have got such a low contract, right? If Eric Stokes was so talented, he wouldn't have got such a low contract, right? And so when I look at this football team, it comes down to Goody just didn't draft good enough talent. Xavier McKinney was good with the New York Giants. They just foolishly decided to move on from him, right? And you got a guy that showed you he has a lot of talent. And so coaching does matter, but at the end of the day, you got to give the coach the good enough ingredients for him to cook up something great with these guys. But unfortunately, what we're seeing is we're just seeing guys who just have not hit. You deal with injury type history as well. And when we talk about talent versus coaching, which Jair Alexander, before he got injured and had some of those problems, They were fine coaching him up. We talked about when Rashawn Gary did pop out that 1 year. He was coaching helped him in that point, so we can't pick and choose when we want to say coaching sucks. Jordan Love is great, but then when a guy is a bust, they say, well, it's the coach's fault he's a bust. No, it comes down to you getting the coach somebody who can actually be coached up into being a talented player.
All right, then what level of confidence do you have in Goody coming up into this Thursday draft? 800-990-3776. Plus, if you missed it, the Bucks did not win Game 1, but that wasn't even the story on Kyle Bruston-Nortman. Next.
This is Kyle Bruston-Nortman, KBN.
What are you going to do with the video?
It was going to be on Snapchat if I got the pick right.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It doesn't matter if it's your first betting slip ever or just the first one of the week. We've got your Potawatomi sportsbook picks covered. Tune in Wednesdays to the Weekly Wager with Greg Matzik, Ben Brust, and Jen Latta.
If someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything, you take it.
The Weekly Wager, Wednesday nights at 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers-Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th and spend Friday and Saturday night under the lights and help the Crew defend American Family Field and the National League Central Crown.
That's your ball game!
Then pack the park for Sunday matinee baseball at the May 4th series finale and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day bundle. Get your tickets now at Brewers.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to American writer H.L. Mencken, a well-stocked bar can create over 17 billion different cocktails. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. I don't know if 17 billion is accurate or not, but I do know that Discount Liquor is the place to find everything you need to be well-stocked for any occasion. Discount Liquor is Wisconsin's home to over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. Our unparalleled selection is rivaled only by our incredible savings and everyday low prices. And we know how to take care of our customers, no matter the occasion. In fact, Discount Liquor has won numerous national and local awards. Visit Discount Liquor at our Milwaukee or Waukesha locations. Family owned and operated since 1960.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. Check out our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
During draft week, make the ultimate pick your child's future. Bet on their success with Advest 529, Wisconsin's direct soul college savings plan. Here's the play. Open an Advest 529 account now until April 27th with just $25, and Advest will match it with $25. That's right. Save $25, get $25. The clock is ticking. Don't miss your shot to score a brighter future. Open your account before April 27th to score your bonus. Go to advest.com/draft25 to lock in your $25 bonus today.
This is Kyle Broston Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
A weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tune into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Marcus and his son Chris, a 1995 UCLA Hoops champ himself, talk about everything happening in the Bucks world and are joined by some of the biggest names in basketball. Plus, they'll answer your questions too. Stay on the beat of the Bucks and find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Speaking of those Milwaukee Bucks, Damian Lillard upgraded to questionable.
Hey.
Bucks in 6.
Yeah.
Brad Nortman is already doubting their ability to get out of the first round.
I think first round, I still have hope. Now, my bet with Homer to win the whole thing.
You should have handed him the 20 when he said to.
I might. No, I'm going to maintain it.
No, he's not going to let you buy out now. He gave you an opportunity. Kyle Wallace is very optimistic about the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I am.
You said, quote, you're not concerned.
No, I'm not concerned at all.
Well, I don't know if we should listen to a damn word that you said, because this is what you said before game 1 of the Bucks Pacers.
Inside their damn mind.
Market, listen, Kyle's best bet. My best bet is that Kyle Kuzma goes out there and plays a big role tomorrow.
What did you quantify that?
3 threes tomorrow.
3 threes.
3 whole.
I bet you the over-under is probably 1.5, and it doesn't even go up to 2.5.
Kyle Kuzma tomorrow is going to score 17 plus points.
All right.
17 points.
All right, let's do this. Go.
17 plus points for Kyle Kuzma tomorrow.
Wow.
They AI me, bro.
No.
Damn, what audio AI Strofe is so good with AI in me. That is crazy.
You saw your boy's stat line, right?
22 minutes, 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 0 of 2 from the free throw.
Yeah, he was bad,
no
man.
Rebounds, no assists, steals, blocks, turnovers. That is what we call a 22 trillion.
Yeah.
The worst performance in playoff history ever.
That was awful.
Per minutes played.
That's awful.
Was it really?
It was so awful.
Yeah. That's insane.
Watching the game, you can know
Kyle Wallace had him at 17 points and 3 threes.
That was AI me.
No, that was you.
No, I misspoke. I meant to say in the series. I said tomorrow.
Are you doubling down on Kyle Kuzma?
I'm doubling down. He's going to have 17 points in the series? Yeah.
I'll take the under.
The whole series.
In the whole series.
Oh, I see.
I said tomorrow, like starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Starting tomorrow.
Chris, play that one again. I think it was pretty clear what you'd said.
Inside their damn mind.
Market, listen, Kyle's best bet. My best bet is that Kyle Kuzma goes out there and plays a big role tomorrow.
What did you quantify that?
3 threes tomorrow.
3 threes.
3 whole.
I bet you the over-under.
Yeah, great job, buddy. So why do you feel so confident and not concerned?
I mean, listen, the Bucks can't be that bad. They can't be. Like, it can't be. Giannis seemed to be, he was aggressive early on, and then kind of, nobody was gelling. They didn't play great defense. It just looked disjointed. Like, if that's the Milwaukee Bucks team that we have, like, if this what we expect and we suck, they might as well blow it up. But I truly believe that the Bucks are going to bounce back.
Who do you believe in outside of Giannis?
Listen, Kyle Kuzma can't be that awful. And Taurean Prince can't be that awful. Like, all these guys, Brook Lopez even just chucking up them threes quickly in the shot clock. Like, the Bucks are going to find a better rhythm, and so I feel confident. I feel good about it. Still Bucks in 6.
Benny, do you remember when you had a streak where you were, like, cursing all the bets that you went into? I feel like Kyle is on that streak now, and I'm concerned about the Bucks' first round bet that you
see,
and I
the problem
both
is
did, he was 0 for 7.
You guys had this conversation on Friday, and I was going to pull my hair out listening to you guys try and like hype up the Milwaukee Bucks into something that they're not. Now you're trying to still believe in your bet by saying it's Kyle's fault.
Yeah,
I think I have enough evidence with my eyes that I'm a little bit more than concerned about their ability, even with Dame, to win this series. They are who we thought they were. They're not that good.
Listen, you weren't saying all that on Friday. You thought the Bucks could get out of the first round on Friday.
I had said that I thought Giannis, my whole thing was I thought Giannis had the ability to beat the Pacers by himself.
Yeah, you said that.
And then I saw him go against the Pacers by himself, and he can't do it by himself.
We're going to see. I'm not going to overreact after one game because last year, if the Milwaukee Bucks, when Dame hit 35 points in the first half and Bucks went up 1-0 in that series, a lot of people around here were very, very confident in the Milwaukee Bucks, and we went on to lose that series in 6. Granted, Dame did get hurt. So I'm not going to sit here and overreact to one game. Everybody just calm down. Let's see what happens game 2. If they get smacked again in game 2, well, then there'll be some cause for concern. But right now, hey, calm down. Just let's see what happens tomorrow before we start jumping.
What's your
shit.
big prediction for tomorrow?
I am not listen. They AI me and they had me sound stupid. My big prediction for tomorrow is that everybody goes out there and both teams have fun.
You're
gosh,
a radio
that
host.
is
You're supposed to
lame.
tell people, based off your knowledge as a
KBN
season ticket
Nation,
holder, what you think's going to happen.
Just in case Brad is right that everything I touch turns into coal right now or sucks, I am not predicting anything that is good with my teams. I'm refusing to do it.
Make a prediction that like Halliburton goes for 35 and 10 assists and curse that side of the team, not the
I'll
Bucks.
make a prediction that Halliburton keep running his mouth. He ain't going to be able to show his face in Milwaukee no more. I'll tell you that much.
Wow.
Oh, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah, tough.
I'm saying not me. I'm
guy.
talking about the city. He disrespecting the state that he from. My little cousin.
How is he disrespecting the state?
Jaw jacket talking trash like
That's
Bucks
just
too.
competition.
No, I ain't competition. It's too much.
They beat the Bucks last year. They are a little front running.
He said,
but
y'all
if they
suck.
beat,
He said, y'all suck.
If they beat the Bucks again, how are you going to be like, you're not welcome in the city? He did what he's supposed to do.
We're sore losers.
I'm a sore loser, so I can respect that. Jim, Matt, and Molly are up next in Madison. Corey and Wally in the Damn Sports Show in Beaver Dam. A little birdie told me Alex Strofe took a 2-hour nap, and now he wants to join in the 414 hour at 4. Do I allow that?
He must have the hottest takes. Hottest after a 2-hour nap.
Dude took a nap. That's crazy.
That's
Isn't
crazy.
it the middle of the work
Took a
day?
nap during the middle of the day.
What the hell?
We're back in 2 minutes. Just what my sources are telling me.
Crashes to deal with right now. First of all, 894 southbound at Lincoln. This one has the 3 left lanes blocked right now, so watch for the delays to start stretching back into the Zoo interchange. We have another accident on northbound 43, the Rock Freeway, just before Sunny Slope Road on the left shoulder. Not in traffic, and it looks like traffic is getting past it without much of an issue. Northbound 43 slowing down